everyone, welcome back to Frenchies Bakery. Today we are going to be making Valentine's Day cakes. So the plan for today's video is we're gonna be making a bunch of different design cakes, and they're gonna be mini, little teeny tiny cakes, super cute. And you guys can pick whichever design you like, and then you can make that for your Valentine. I personally think that homemade gifts are the best of the best. It means that the person really loves you and cares about you and takes the time to make something that you will probably really enjoy. So I just think it's super special, and I thought that this would be a really fun video. It's super different than anything I've ever done. I don't think I have ever filmed multiple cakes in one video. This is a first. I'm gonna be doing multiple different cakes with multiple different designs, and it's gonna be very different. Normally I usually only will do one little design for you guys. So this is really cool. I really like this idea. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun and perfect for Valentine's Day. So these cakes are going to be little individual cakes. I'm gonna be doing 4-inch cakes. And I think I'm going to work on each cake individually on their own, not in steps. That's what I was almost gonna say. But I'm gonna do one full cake at a time. So I'm not gonna crumb coat each of them and then do the final coat on each of them and then decorate each of them. I'm going to do each cake by itself. So we're gonna work on one design fully, and then we're gonna move on to the next one, and the next one. And that's kind of how I'm gonna do it. I think it's gonna make things a lot less confusing and really easy to follow. I think all of these designs are super cute, very easy, and they're going to be just so tasty. I'm very excited, and I'm just making these for this video. So Mike and I are gonna get to have all these cakes. My grandma's birthday is tomorrow, so maybe I can take a few over there for her birthday party. I baked off all of my cake layers just to make it like really simple and not have that interfere with the video. 3 of the cakes that I'm going to be working with today are red velvet. I just feel like that screams Valentine's Day, so I just did some red velvet layers. And then one of the cakes is going to be chocolate layers. And then I just did 3 of each. So there's gonna be 3 cake layers with each cake, which you will see whenever I work on them. And then I also have a fresh batch of buttercream icing back there. So yummy, so amazing. I will link it above, super easy, really short video for you to follow. And it turns out perfect every single time. Bakery cheats in the video, it's great recipe. So I have that freshly made back there, and everything is ready to go. We are going to start working on our first cake design. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of my red velvet cakes, and we will get started on decorating it. So the first cake we are going to start off with is going to be red velvet, like I said. So I have my 4-inch cake circle here, and I'm going to top it with some buttercream icing and just smooth it out nice and evenly. We're going to be filling in between the cake layers here. Typically, you will pair cream cheese icing with your red velvet cake, but every once in a while, I love having buttercream icing with my red velvet. I think it pairs really good with the cake. And then we are just going to top that icing with our next cake layer, and we are going to do the same thing, put a blob of icing down, smooth it out nice and evenly, and top it with our final piece of cake. And I am just going to work on putting on our crumb coat. So I'm going to smooth out the sides nice and evenly, get it nice and smooth. And then I'm going to pop this in the freezer for about 10 minutes. Now that our cake is fully chilled, we had it in the freezer for about 10 minutes, I'm going to put my final layer of icing on. So I'm just going to coat it nice and thick with some buttercream icing. I'm going to smooth out the edges really good, make it nice and sharp. Go around as many times as it takes until it is nice and smooth. And then we're going to pop it into the freezer one more time for about 10 more minutes, and then we will start working on the outside designs. I have 2 piping bags here fitted with the Wilton 199 tip, and we are going to stuff these piping bags with red icing and pink icing. Now that our icing is all ready to go in its baggies, we are going to start working on the decorations on the outside of the cake. So the design for this is just going to be a bunch of X's and O's, perfect for Valentine's Day. So I'm just going to do a burst of pressure and make my X's and O's all around the cake. You can place these however you would like. I'm going to try and make them as straight and as perfect as possible, but you can definitely just sporadically put them all over the cake. It's totally up to you. Once I have all of my X's and O's on the cake, we're going to work on the topping around the border of the cake. So I'm just going to do a burst of pressure and make a swirl, and we are going to just go between the pink and the red. And we're going to do this around the whole top of the cake to make a nice, beautiful border. So just like that, our cake is finished. It is beautiful, so cute, and oh my gosh, I am obsessed with this design, you guys, and I think it is going to make your Valentine so happy. This is definitely going to be one of my favorites. There's another one that is going to be competing very hard with this one, but I absolutely love this design. So we're going to go ahead and pop this cake into the fridge and start with our next cake. So now we're going to start on our second cake. So this is a 4-inch red velvet cake as well. And I am currently working on the crumb coat, so I'm gonna fill in between the layers, put on a nice outside layer of icing, make sure it's nice and smooth. And then I'm going to pop this into the freezer until it stiffens up. And then we will work on putting on our final coat and the decorations. Our crumb coat is nice and firm from being in the freezer. So now we are going to work on our final coat of icing, and that is going to be a nice pink color. I added 2 drops of pink food coloring to my white buttercream icing, and it made this really nice pink color. And I'm just going to add on the final layer of the icing, make it nice and smooth. And we're going to pop it back into the freezer for about 5 minutes, and we're going to work on the decorations while the cake is in the freezer stiffening up. So this cake is probably going to be our most simple cake of the day. So our decorations are just going to be some red hearts. So I have some red fondant here, and I'm just going to roll it out until it is nice and even. And then I'm going to take a heart cookie cutter and just cut out a bunch of hearts while our cake is in the freezer stiffening up. And then the last step for this cake is we're going to place our red fondant hearts all over the pink edges of the cake and make it look really cute. I love the pinks and the red for Valentine's Day. I think it is very traditional and super cute. So this is a very plain, easy, and simple cake, but it also looks absolutely adorable. If your fondant hearts are not sticking, you can add just a drop of water to the backs of them, and it is going to stick onto the icing very nicely for you. And if you have any type of indent in your icing that you couldn't make totally perfect, you can cover it with a heart. This is when fondant decorations become super useful, and I love whenever I have to use fondant decorations on a cake and I can't get the icing perfectly smooth, because you can just hide it with your little fondant decor that you have. All right, so our second cake is finished. I love how simple it is, but yet it is so, so cute. This is super cute. I love it a lot. So now we're going to move on to our third cake, and I figured we could switch things up here and start working with our chocolate cake. So this cake is going to revolve around a chocolate covered strawberry. So the cake layers are going to be the chocolate, and then the icing is actually going to be strawberry. So I took some of my buttercream icing, I mashed up some strawberries, and I mixed it together, and it made a really, really yummy strawberry icing. So we're just going to fill in between our cake layers here and put on our crumb coat, and then we're going to pop it into the freezer, of course, until it stiffens up, and then we will put on our final coat and start working on the outside decorations. So our crumb coat is on and totally chilled, so now we are going to add on the final layer of icing. So we are going to do a generous amount of our strawberry icing here and then smooth it out nice and perfectly. And then we are going to pop it into the freezer for about 10 minutes. You want to make sure that it is totally stiff for the decoration that we are going to put on at the end of the cake. Our cake is fully firm to the touch, so it is ready to have the final decoration put on top. So I have some ganache here. I have a video on how to make ganache. It's very easy, very simple. So I'm just going to pour it over the top of the cake, use my offset spatula to ease the chocolate off the edges and have it make a nice little drip. And this can be very sloppy. You do not have to worry about it being perfect at all. It's going to look like the strawberries just melted, and it's supposed to look a little messy, so you don't have to worry about it being perfect at all. So go ahead and just let the chocolate fall off like it wants. Just let it have a mind of its own. And then I'm going to take a strawberry and I'm going to dip it in some melted chocolate, and we are going to place it right on top of the cake. And this is going to be the final look. So it's going to look like a chocolate covered strawberry is melting off the edges of the cake. I think this is so cute. I love it a lot. It's a close tie between the first cake and this cake. I love them both a lot. All of the cakes are very cute, but these two are probably my most favorite. It is now time for our final cake. If you follow my Instagram, you have seen this design before on my page. I do this a lot to my red velvet cakes. It's super simple and really, really pretty. I love it a lot. So we have a red velvet cake here, 4 inches of course, and we're just going to do the same mold. We are going to fill in between the layers and put on our crumb coat, and then we will place it into the freezer and let it stiffen up before we put on our final coat. So it is time for our final coat, which is going to just be regular white icing. We are going to make sure that the edges are nice and smooth and they have a nice sharp edge. So our final coat is just going to be a plain old white canvas. Now instead of popping this in the fridge whenever we are done, we are actually going to add on our decorations right away so they stick very easily. So I have a red velvet cupcake here. When I was making my red velvet cake layers, I left over a little bit of batter to make one cupcake, and this is going to be the perfect amount of cake to do our decorations on the sides of the cake. So all you're going to do is just crumble up the cupcake and make some red velvet crumbs, and we are just going to press this along the bottom of the cake and put some on the top part of the cake. And then I'm just going to do a border with just a plain star tip, and I'm just gonna do a burst of pressure and do a bunch of swirls on top. And there you have it. Here is our final cake. I love it. This is very traditional for red velvet, which is very much Valentine's Day in my opinion. All right, you guys, just like that, our Valentine's Day cakes are finished. I love them all so much. They each have their own little unique touch to them. I love how simple all of them are, but they also look incredible, and like so much work and love went into these, which a lot of work and love did go into these, but I love how it just looks like outstanding for how simple and just, I don't know, just little they are. They're so cute and little. I love it so much. I think that these are very, very, very cute, and it will absolutely make your Valentine so happy if you make one of these, or all of them if you would like. I'm gonna have to go with, man, I don't know. I'm gonna go with maybe this is my favorite. This is probably my second favorite. This is my third. This one's really cute though. It's like really up in the air with these two. And then this one is probably gonna be my least favorite. Sorry, red velvet cake, but I do that one all the time. So I love these. They're super unique, really fun. And the red velvet one is definitely really fun as well, to show you that it is a red velvet cake with the crumbs on the outside. So it lets the person know that, hey, this is a red velvet cake. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this style video. I think it was really cool doing mini cakes with you all and thinking of different designs. So if you guys make these cakes, please tag me in them. I'd love to see your creations. I would really love to see these, and it would be awesome to see them with your Valentine, of course. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so go ahead and start practicing with your cake techniques. You guys totally got this. I tried to make them really simple, and these definitely are very, very easy. So if you follow my steps, you can definitely make one of these cakes, and you just don't want to overthink it. You don't want to stress out about it. A lot of people tend to just stress out and freak out, but you just want to have fun with it, relax, put on some music, just chill out and have fun with it. So hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Thank you all so, so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. Bye.